Bill Huizenga joining us here in the MOM studios along with Representative Pete Hoekstra. Bill, the Tea Parties around the state and nation have been receiving lots and lots of attention. To many, the relationship between the GOP and the Tea Parties is pretty foggy and unclear. What are your thoughts on the Tea Party movement, and do you agree with the principles that they're putting in place?
Well, yeah, I think it's pretty hard to disagree with an element of saying we need to look at the Constitution and what constitutionally are we supposed to be doing. And I think virtually everybody agrees we're coloring outside the lines here of what traditionally we had expected the federal government or sometimes even the state government to be doing. We've got some roadmaps: the state constitution, the federal constitution. I'm tired of the federal government trying to keep doing the state's jobs, like in education and some of those other things, and it keeps jamming down unfunded mandates down onto the states. I dealt with those when I was in the state legislature. You'd sit back and look and go, here they go again. You know, they're gonna hammer us again at the state level, and it's gonna cost us more money, and we can't do what the federal government does, which is print money and go into deficit spending. I mean, we've got to hit a target at the end of the day that brings us into balance here in the state. But you know, there's Tea Party members and there's also Tea Party minded people that are out there, and there's a lot of those people who are just looking around and they're saying, I'm tired of the spending. You know, $14 trillion with a T, $trillion in debt that we're carrying. 1.3 last year, 1.4 the year before, and we just can't afford it. So just like we would have with our own personal budgets, or if you run a small business and that kind of budget, you got to go in, you got to prioritize, you got to make sure that you're covering the basics first, and then dealing with those other issues. And we've got to figure out, it seems to me, Kevin, we've got to figure out, are these programs effective the way that they're structured? You know, I don't think it's a great idea just to slash 10 or 20% across the board, because guess what? We could be hurting some really good programs that we're supposed to be doing, and not reforming and really touching some of those other programs that we maybe shouldn't be doing. We've got to go through and prioritize those budget ideas.
Bill Huizenga joining us here in the MOM studios. He's running tomorrow for the 2nd congressional seat against Fred Johnson, the Democrat. And I'll direct this last question to you here, Pete Hoekstra, joining us also in studio, Representative Pete Hoekstra. You have been behind Bill since the primary, campaigning for him. This is a seat you held for nearly 2 decades. I think you understand what it takes in Washington and what kind of character it takes and what kind of man it takes. Why have you thrown your support behind Bill, and why do you think he's the right man for this job?
Well, you know, Bill and I go back a long ways. We've known each other before I ever went to Congress. I think Bill has the character and the quality to be a representative of the people. I think he recognizes that when he goes to Washington, he's going to work for the people of Michigan. He's going to work for the people of the 2nd Congressional District. You can never forget that. He's going to stay grounded in West Michigan values. Philosophically, I think he's coming at this from the right direction. You know, we've got to empower people, not empower the federal government, not empower state government, move more of these decisions back to the local level. America's future, America's growth is going to come from unleashing the potential of people throughout this state, small businesses, medium-sized businesses throughout this state. They're going to get this country moving. They're going to get this state moving. They're the ones that are going to create the jobs. The federal government is not going to do that. Bill's a small business guy, great educational background, great family, great values. You know, I'm looking forward to having Bill represent me in Washington, D.C.
Well, there you go. Remember, the most important thing is tomorrow, get out and vote. Tomorrow, election day, so get out and vote. Races going around the state and the country. Bill Huizenga, Pete Hoekstra, I want to thank you guys a lot for taking the time out today to join us.
Great being here. Thank you.
Good luck tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks a lot. Coming up in an hour from now, Sidekick Nick sitting in on KOB in the afternoon. So keep it right here. Listen 102.7 WMOM.
Have you heard about the Pain Reducer program at Grand Valley Co-op Credit Union? Hi, this is